this is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I had in the last video been talking about, let's see which one it was, the Archangel. And I ended up cutting it short because I actually talked a lot in it. It was Archangel Sandalphon. And so let me tell you a little bit more about Sandalphon. His physical associations are that he increases prana life force, which you can see the life force in me is like getting rejuvenated. I feel like when I used to play World of Warcraft, I had an undead warrior and my character I was a tank, so I'd go in and fight all the battles and clear the path where other people could come through. And then I would need like the mages and the mystics to like heal me and keep me alive. And I feel that that's what Archangel Sandalphon is doing right now, is like revitalizing my health and my life force energy. And he aids in physical vitality. He helps to integrate healing energy within the physical body, which is vital if stability and balance are to be maintained. Often, healing energy is not fully accepted and assimilated, which means that it gets dissipated and has no lasting benefit. So Archangel Sandalphon also strengthens the immune system and helps children to express their imaginative creativity. The emotional and mental associations is he increases prana, which aids mental clarity and acumen. He instills and nurtures emotional maturity. He allows us to see to the heart of the problem and take personal responsibility for our own actions and emotions. It also eases stress and psychological overdependence on people, food, alcohol, tobacco, and other addictive substances. So you can call on Archangel Sandalphon for those things. I know he's been really helping me with my food addiction. I love carbs and have had to really work hard with that addiction, as well as I'm trying to cut back on my technology addiction and really stay grounded in the present moment. So Archangel Sandalphon also has some spiritual associations. So he brings grounding to your spiritual practice. Shamans and others who work with natural magic use this energy, which is why it's so important for me to stay rooted in my spiritual practices, even if the 3D world does not understand them and rejects me for them. It is valuable for unifying the whole self by releasing the energy of alienation and fragmentation. So, no more feeling alone in the world. I truly am blessed to always be seen, heard, validated in the spirit realm, and then it comes through in the 3D reality. So let's find out which Ascended Master from our Keepers of the Light Oracle deck want to give us a message today. I know one of the spirit guides that I have is Isis, and if you don't know that storyline, she was searching for Osiris, and so sometimes people can associate my search for my divine counterpart kind of like Isis is channeling through me, searching the underworld for Osiris. And I know that one day that vessel containing Osiris will connect with this vessel. Some people like to tease me and say it's more like Ghostbusters. And I don't know if you've seen the original Ghostbusters, where there's the one character who's like, I'm the key master, and then she's like, I have the key, or something like that, you know, and then they like end up together. But it's more like Isis and Osiris. But to people who don't understand that spiritual part of the journey, yeah, we look a little crazy, I'm sure. I look forward to meeting this person because really it's the deity and the energy and the spirit guide looking for the right vessel to inhabit. So it's not like a specific person, and that can be confusing to people that are really rooted and grounded in their 3D identities, for them to understand that no, I'm not sitting there going, oh, it's got to be this person. No, it's an energy, and the energy is looking for the right vessel to be able to inhabit. And then once it finds the right vessel, then we will be introduced to each other. All right, let's see what we get. We have the Divine Director. It says intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided, and happiness is your purpose. Like I said, right now I know that a lot of us have been struggling to experience the happiness and the joy. We talk about it, but to actually feel it. And this whole experience over the last 3 years has really helped me be able to clarify and clean out my energy field, to be able to really open my heart space on such a deeper level and have so much more compassion. I mean, I was already a compassionate person, but to be able to be used by the divine is just, it's an amazing feeling. And I want more people to be able to do that. And hopefully you'll be able to connect with me and that we can continue our walk together. All right, we've got the Work Your Light Oracle card. So let's see what it tells us about working our light. Because you're an Ascended Master in training, just like me. We need more of the artists. We need more of the healers. We need more of the free thinkers. Moral compass intact, in order for us to survive this attempt at mass extinction of the human race. All right, we've got boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So just like today, that gentleman really wanted to talk my ear off and keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, and I'm having to get better and better about ending those conversations and moving forward to talk with other people, because sometimes I can get just as gabby, because I'll be like, oh my gosh, I finally somebody who understands what I'm saying and doesn't think that I need to be in a psych ward. All right, let's take a look at the Crystal Alchemy Oracle and see which one of our chakras needs a little more attention and has a message for us. I like to think that more and more people that think outside the box like me, the artists, the creatives, that we're really finding ourselves through this whole evolutionary moment in humanity. And it's not that we want a war against the machines, but there is something to be said about the diversity and the authenticity of being a human being versus, pretty soon they're going to be, they already are buying female robots, and it's just like, okay, but what about us carbon-based AI units that are still here, warm-blooded? I get it, you can't control us like you control a robot, but we're still fun. We've got rhodonite through the heart chakra. It says forgiveness, trust, and unconditional love. And one of the hard parts with this is I give so much unconditional love everywhere that for people who have never experienced it, it can be scary. It can cause chaos. Some people just do not know how to accept love, and it makes them uncomfortable. And, sometimes I like to make people uncomfortable, and that's part of my charm. I dated a guy once who had a brain injury as a child, and so he had OCD, and one summer he had given me a key to his apartment so that way I could take my kids swimming when I wanted to, and his OCD was pretty intense. Like, he would vacuum the carpet all the same direction, and his remote always had to be in the same spot, and then like his comb had to be like at a 45-degree angle. It was intense. And so when my kids and I would go, when he was at work, to go swimming at the pool, I would intentionally do little things to just kind of like mess with them. Like I would scoop my feet in the carpet to mess up the tracks, or I would move his comb to a 90-degree angle instead of being 45. Or I would take the remote and put it on the other arm of the couch, and just do little things. And then he'd get home from work and then he'd call me up and he'd be laughing. He's like, "You came by and swam, didn't you?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. What makes you think I came by?" And then he would just start laughing. I don't know why I like to antagonize the people that I'm in a relationship with. Just a little bit. I'm not trying to drive you completely crazy. Just set you off kilter a little bit every once in a while. Liven life up a little bit, that's all. Alright, let's get a Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guide. This one I already have the messages more in depth, so I'll give you a word or a key phrase, and that'll tell you which chakra has a deeper message for you. We've got grief. It makes sense considering most of us are at some form of the grieving process, and luckily some of us are coming out of it, and are here to hold space for those that are still going through it. Here is a message from the Spirits of Nature Oracle deck. So let's see what Mother Gaia has to say, and Archangel Sandalphon. I'm loving getting to know more about the archangels. I mean, they've always been around me, but the more that I learn about them, the more I use their name, the more I talk about them, you can just start to feel their presence in the energy around me, and obviously then that filtrates into boosting my mood, boosting my energy. And so I know some people get irritated when I don't go to their parties and I don't go to their invitations and I don't go hang out for the barbecues. But I'm like, when you get this close to the angelic realm, like, you don't want to go and do all that worldly stuff. You just don't. You just want to be able to sit here and communicate and have, the archangels interacting with you. It's just so much fun. And I want other people to be able to have that experience as well. All right, we've got Fire Intensity. Card number 15. So let's see what card 15 tells us. It is the Spirit of Fire. One of the 4 primary elements, has been a big part of Earth's history for billions of years and will continue to be so long after we're gone. It has an intensity to it that no matter how small or large, it has a hold on us. We fear it, yet seek its warmth. We speak of the fire in the heart as a description of our passion, fire in the belly as an urging for action, and fire in the head as an expression of a burning inspiration. As the most dynamic of the 4 major elements, fire commands respect in all its iterations for its immense power. Fire is neither inherently good nor bad like other primary elements. It just is. It can stimulate growth and help maintain the balance in various ecological systems. It's been used to provide warmth in the cold, so bright that the light It's been used to provide warmth in the cold, to bring light to darkness, and to cook food, as well as being an integral part of thousands of years of sacred ceremonies. On the other hand, it can also destroy life and resources, pollute the atmosphere, and contaminate the waters. It destroys forests, yet in that fact it clears the way for new growth. It is neither friend nor enemy, yet commands respect for its immense power. No matter what you feel about your relationship with fire, you cannot deny its intensity. And we all have that internal fire. And sometimes we can burn others around us with our tongue. And I know that I've learned that the hard way, which is why I'm really, really cautious. And I've started really praying before I actually speak, and I practice the pause, because I don't know what kind of hurts, habits, hang-ups, traumas that the other person has that's sitting before me. And so I want to make sure that when I'm talking with people that I'm doing more listening than talking. which is one other reason why I think that my ancestors and the archangels and my guides have said to go ahead and let Holman's consulting kind of fall to the wayside, because consulting is more me talking. And I think once I complete this training to be a peer support professional, then it's going to be switching gears to me being more of a coach, which is more me listening. So that's the professional transition that I'm about to embark on. So thank you for those of you who are patient while I revamp what I've been doing. So our message is, everything seems to be going smoothly without a lot of disruptive ripples and conflict. The trade-off for this peace and calm is that there's no fire to your life. There's very little excitement and enthusiasm. By adhering to certain safe routines and relatively predictable and mundane rituals, you're lacking the intensity that is a spark for action, passion, and creativity. In this area of your life, it's important to take risks and stretch yourself, to engage in activities that spark your excitement and enthusiasm. Your mind and body may have been conditioned to associate intensity with tension and turmoil. It doesn't matter how old you are, it's time to follow your passionate and creative urges. What activities have you been considering but have been reluctant to act on for fear of causing upheaval in your stable and comfortable life? Life is short. Stoke that fire in your belly and in your heart, and abandon those fears that have been holding you back from experiences that really light your inner fire. Okay, next, let's get a message from the Mystic Realm through our Mystic Shaman Pocket Oracle. Let's see, I've been really enjoying working with the Four Winds. Marcelo Lobos and Alberto Velodo have a lot of free workshops and things that you can access, but if you get the chance to be able to do some of the paid trainings, I highly recommend working with them. They just really expand your way of viewing life and bring about such a deeper sense of healing to the soul. All right, we have the spiral. They say healing is a spiral, and I do believe that. I've experienced it. Card 50. Let's see here. A little bit more into the spiral. It says, from galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out into the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. To renew yourself, you must shed your old skin. You have already done this, so do not keep scraping away at the old, but welcome the soft new skin that is starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your faults all the time and let nature take its course. Know that a new skin feels vulnerable and scary at times. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides your journey of renewal. The spiral announces a descent to the depths and a rebirth. Allow nothing to get in the way of this process, as the time is right and the forces of nature are supporting you in this endeavor. Using stones, twigs, or yarn, build a spiral on the ground that is large enough to walk through with at least 3 turns. Enter the spiral slowly. Once in the center, offer to the earth the feelings or situations that you no longer want in your life. And as you walk back the way you entered, feel recharged for your new journey. Wow, I'm definitely going to be doing that when I upload these videos. All right, let's get a quick little message from our Starseed Oracle deck. Starseeds, let's see what we get. I know people see some of these videos and think that I'm just always talking, and actually I'm a very quiet person who's usually just observing. Alright, we've got the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. And that's what I'm really hoping to be able to find a healthier balance, because I don't want it to be like I bottle all my energy up and then I come on here and I blast it like a fire hose to everybody, but to be able to learn how to use it flowingly throughout my day, like I did today for the gentleman at the gas station, right? I want to have more of those moments. Of course, it would be nice if I had finances at the same time, but I just get so excited in the moments that money doesn't usually come up. All right, let's get a message from the Healing Waters Oracle. That's why if you have any suggestions on investors that would be willing to help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. You can send them my way at homans.consulting@gmail.com. Let's see what Healing Waters has to give us today. For my collective, the message is the Isle of Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness, and transformation. Such beautiful confirmations. And I love that at this time, it's not just me healing and transforming, that there's a whole collective out there that's in this wave with me. Alright, let's see here. Is another set of videos that I have for the chakra system. Gives you yoga poses and mantras. So, let's see which one wants to have our attention. Pull the card and then you can find that video and get more information. We've got the solar plexus chakra, breath of fire. It says, I am strong and determined. I think that's an understatement for my collective. We've been strong, and now we get to find strength in our softness. Learning how to tame that fire is a level of mastery that most people don't understand. Alright, let's do a message from Arts, connecting to the spirit. Great spirit that is in all of us. And let's see what message we get for this collective. So grateful that you're here and receiving the love that I pour into these creations and this content, and the acceptance that I get from my community that understands that we are all perfectly imperfect, and letting go of trying to mask in order to fit in with the world, because the world is sick and it needs more of us weirdos stepping out and just being ourselves. Here we go. We've got Head in the Clouds, card 24. I don't remember if we've had that one yet. Let's see. Kind of interesting, because in the first video I did just before this one, I was talking about Alice in Wonderland, who was kind of daydreaming. So let's see. It says, well, hello up there. How is the view from up there? Are you living in a dreamy, almost obscure day-to-day? Having dreams is what makes the world go round. But do you not get so lost in the dream that you forget your own reality? It is easy to get lost in the fantasy of it all. While dreaming is amazing, you must take different avenues to get to them, setting and manifesting your intentions. Perhaps a vision board will help you get a little more grounded to manifest your dreams, as opposed to having your head in the clouds and just waiting for your dreams to manifest without taking any real part in making them come true. I know that I am guilty of that, of having sometimes big lofty dreams, and when I'm taking all the steps and then I realize that the road is still so much further, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of done doing this. I'll come back to it. And so if I really want to achieve success, I have to keep going. But right now I need a sacred pause before I can keep going. So burnout is no place to manifest from. Let's get a card from our Moon Magic, the Lunar Oracle deck, and see what the moon has to tell us today. I think it is on the 29th is going to be a full moon. The Four Winds, if you belong to their community, they do a virtual ceremony for every full moon. I got the notice that one's coming up, I think on the 29th. Alright, this one is card 9. It says the Waning Crescent Moon. So there's the card. Let's see what the message is. The key words are liminal, psychic, and transition. The Waning Crescent card is a magical card indeed, indicating a time for psychic visions, prophetic dreams, and spooky experiences. It's a liminal time as the moon makes the journey from the end of the current cycle towards the next. Therefore, it suggests a time of transition. It is a period of leaving the past behind, but taking the lessons learned with you as you move forward into a new phase in your life, with greater wisdom than you had before. This is a time of healing and magic, of dream work and self-reflection. When you pull this card, it can mean that you are still feeling the pain of old wounds and scars, that you are not yet fully healed, so be gentle with yourself. A paper cut takes seconds to inflict, but days to heal, so give yourself the time needed to get over any old injury, be this physical or emotional, and take positive steps such as counseling towards your better mental health and emotional intelligence. This card is also one of strong enchantment, and if you pulled it as your personal card, it would suggest that you have an affinity for magic and spell casting. The Waning Crescent has very protective energies, so know that you are guarded on your magical path. And the Bible, it tells you the power of the tongue. And people think that that's just a metaphor, and it's like, no, that's a real thing. What you speak into existence comes to be, which is why I said I know that there are people that use spell work to alter my 3D reality because they keep speaking things over me, which was something that unfortunately my mother would do, and I couldn't get her to comprehend, or maybe she did comprehend, what exactly she was doing. And I'd be like, just keep my name out of your mouth. Please stop. Alright, let's get a love message for people that are on the twin flame or soulmates, wanting some lessons. I know I've noticed soulmates coming in and closing out karmic lessons, and am grateful for them all. Even if they feel painful after the fact, I can look back and be like, okay, I really needed that. That was actually a blessing in disguise. This one says, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Dun, dun, dun. Love will continue. Every time I'm just like, oh, do I have to go through this again? Because it becomes like an interview process. You go to dinner, you're asking questions, you're answering the questions, and it becomes like a big old, like a job interview, and I'm like, this is boring. Why do people do this? So, I'm going to keep an open mind. I know my sister, before she had my nephew, she belonged to, like, it was like a dating club that you actually went and did things like hiking and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe I need to look into something like that, where I can just do fun things with a group of strangers and start to meet people that way. Because I also don't want to do speed dating where you sit there and ask 3 questions and go, yeah, next. Go try that one. I just want it to happen naturally. And then evolve over time, develop a friendship, and just like that cute couple that I worked with where they were giving each other a hard time, right? They just met at work and worked together, gave each other a hard time, and then what do you know? Poof, let's go out on a date. All right, let's get 3 messages from my ancestors and see what they want to tell us today. All right, we've got the first one is 7 of Diamonds, which are Pentacles, which is just acknowledging that I had false hopes and disappointment, that we've had failure, material worries, which I've openly shared, made some bad investments for sure, and investments that cost more than they were worth, right, because of deception. Gosh, those who know how accurate this has been, you're going to be like, oh. Potential financial loss and unfulfilled promises. So, that one is definitely hitting home for me. Okay, then next came out was, the 9 of Hearts, which is Cups, and it says pleasure, satisfaction, contentment, abundance. See, so God taketh, but guess what? He giveth as well. So, whatever he takes away, he replaces with something even better. Which is why I don't really think about dating very much, because I'm like, rejection's my protection, and God always gives me an upgrade. So, once one's gone, the next one is always better than the last one anyway. So, it says plenty of opportunities, save your blessings, savor blessings, and then your wishes are coming true. You have emotional fulfillment. Which part of me is like, because like I believe some of these wishes I sent out into the universe when I was a kid, and I'm like wanting to be a writer and wanting to be, a published author that had like won awards and stuff. And I'm like, that's from when I was 10 years old. And I'm like, I'm really gonna get that wish? And they're like, yeah, if you sit down and write the book. So that's what's on my to-do list. Next came out was the 4 of Diamonds, which are Pentacles, which is stability, a strong foundation, security, building a solid base to success, a reward for effort, well-deserved comfort, material success, success in career, and having achieved a secure financial footing. So for all those people that thought that they would put me out of the game, nope, I just went off-roading with Jesus. Took the scenic route. We're having some fun and adventures with the Archangels, but I'm still here, still in the game, and I'm going to recoup back everything that I've lost. So, thank you for being here. I really hope that you find my messages to be uplifting and enlightening and put a smile on your face, and that you can find some words of wisdom through, even if it is my tragedies. You get to see the ups, you get to see the downs, you get to see all sides of my multi-dimensional being. And I'm really grateful that you're here for this journey at this time. And the light in me honors and respects the light in you, and I hope you have a blessed day.